I'm Shani Hugo Wurlitzer, and I'm here with Alexandra Pope. We're the co-founders of Red School. We teach on the power of the menstrual cycle. And we recently got asked a question, which is a question that often comes up, around really how to cooperate with the energy of our menstrual cycle in a world that doesn't necessarily support it. And in particular, this woman was asking on behalf of her mother, who is a midwife or lactation consultant, and she was suggesting that our idea that she could kind of change her schedule or adapt her work life to support her needs better at menstruation was a naive idea. And we can completely see how she might be thinking that, because, you know, for some people, they don't have the option of working their work around their menstrual cycle, or, you know, if you're a mother, your kids don't disappear when you are bleeding. So we really want to answer this question in a very real way, like how can we live our cycle in, you know, when life around us doesn't necessarily support it? Alexandra, please, can you share some of your amazing wisdom with us?
Well, this is wisdom that we have, you know, wrestled with together, and you particularly have.
I am still wrestling with a mother of two young girls,
and working full time. So yeah. This is hard-won information, isn't it? Yeah. Well, the first thing that we write about this in our book, Wild Power, we talk about the 4 undercover agents for living a cycle-savvy life, you know, in today's world. And the first of our undercover agents is acceptance of your cycle. This is everything. The moment you start to accept and become conscious of your cycle, and with that, of course, comes awareness of your changing needs through the menstrual month. Just that acceptance and the subsequent awareness that grows starts to shift something in you quietly, organically. And then
I was going to say, and I think a really important part of that, which I certainly often undervalue, is just being aware of my needs at different times in the cycle. That is really powerful. Whether I can act on them or not, whether I can get them met in the way I want to or not, simply being aware of them is incredibly healing and soothing somehow.
It's actually crucial. It's really crucial that. Yeah. And it has a powerful effect all its own, regardless of whether your needs are met. That's so important, what you're saying. And then following on from acceptance comes what we call intention. So now you're accepting your cycle, and then you just start to set a quiet intention for what you would like to experience. You don't have to do anything more than that. It's so powerful. The power of intention is enormous. So just clearly stating to yourself how you would like to be experiencing things. And never mind that it's totally opposite of that. Just let that go. Just keep coming back to your intention. We love the magic of that, don't we, Shani?
Completely. Yeah, and this is also where I think we can call on our third undercover agent, which is imagination. Imagination supports intention in such a beautiful way, to really just take the time to allow yourself to imagine your intention real, to let yourself really, in an unlimited way, indulge in the possibility of your intention being realized. And that has an incredible way of shifting things, and seemingly miraculously. So that's how
It actually lifts your mood.
It does.
It just you kind of start to go, oh wow, and excited, and you know.
And
that changes your energy field, and that affects things.
Absolutely. So that's our third undercover agent, and our fourth undercover agent is entitlement. Entitlement, the beautiful one, and this is something that really grows for us women through the practice of cycle awareness. Cycle awareness grows our sense of entitlement, that we feel able to take the space that we need. We feel able to stop and do nothing. We feel able to say no Entitlement is something that really grows just simply by paying attention to your cycle and being aware of your needs. Yes.
And having a right to having
yes.
those there. That's really important. Yes.
That's it. Yeah. Claiming your right to practice a cycle-centered life.
Okay, so we've now got the 4 undercover agents under our belt. And then we've got a few other things we want to share here with you. The first thing is, you're not at work 24/7. At least I sincerely hope not. And so really control what you can control.
Mm-hmm.
And there are whole chunks of your schedule where you do have choices and have freedom. However small that change is. And that's really, really important. So when you've got those 4 undercover agents in action within you, you're going to start to look at your life, the bits you can manage easily, and start to make changes. And curiously, you'll also start looking at your working life differently.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the small things like, at work, you could just get into a really long conversation with someone, blah, 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 blah. But actually, it could be answered in a few short sentences. Wow. Now, there you go. For bleeding, just a short sentence, yes, no, end of conversation, go about your business. So this is more, you have more solidity, strength to hold yourself. So and in a way that leads on to my next point too, really, is about starting to find allies at work. Mm-hmm. Building a bit of a community around this, talking about cycle awareness. And then it becomes really fun. If there's a few of you, you can come into work and you can sort of just wink at someone and go, I'm in my winter. That's menstruation, for those of you who aren't familiar with our inner seasons yet. And then your co-worker will sort of wink back and go, absolutely get it. And she will just clock, what your needs are and how to sort of, she might be just thoughtful about what she sends your way or how she interacts with you and so on. Or you come in and you say, in the summer. And again, that signals a whole lot of information to your colleagues. And you've got this lovely sort of secret communication system going on. And with that, a subtle time management relating thing going on in which you are really supported. So get your allies at work. And now, Shani, you take over because this is our favorite, this one.
I love that. I love the bit about the allies. It's like you're creating a whole new work ethic, by surrounding yourself by people who are cycle conscious along with you. And even, get men on board. Men love to understand women in this way. It could be your partner or your work colleague, whatever. So our favorite tool for really working this edge of bringing more of our needs at different times into our life and being able to really embody our cycle. Our favorite tool is what we call the 1% shift. And this has been a huge thing for me in my life, is really recognizing how small, very seemingly subtle changes create big shifts in my life and go on to have magnificent impact. So let's talk about the 1% shift, Alexandra. And actually, I feel I would like to challenge the women who are listening to this to go through this process with yourself around menstruation and practice the 1% shift. So the first thing to do really is to call on your intention and your imagination. Let yourself dream big. Like, what would you love to experience when you're bleeding? Forget the realities and limitations of your life and just let yourself dream into it. And it's beautiful to write this down or to speak it out loud with a friend so you can really let your creative juices go. And then over to you, Alexandra. What's the next step?
Okay, so now we've got the wonderful, wonderful big picture. And your next task now is to find 1% that you could do that is 1% of that big picture is a way of, it's like the homeopathic dose of that big picture. And I always remember a client of mine years ago when I was in Australia, and she just wanted to go to this South Sea island. Man, I wanted to join her there too. Bring it on. And, of course, it was out of the question, except for a holiday once in a while. But what she was really looking for was warmth and soothing and just utter surrender, where she was sort of being taken care of. It was all about, nurturing and sensuality. And just, I'm just dreaming into it now. And it's really, how could she have 1% of that? Well, I can't. I think I'm trying to think, but possibly it was actually treating herself to a very gorgeous, nourishing massage for herself. But it might be, because if you don't have the money for that, it might be really planning a very delicious night in, with a lovely hot bath and something. Or even if that is too much, because you've got 2 young children trying to climb into the bath with you, you narrow it down even more. And it might be that you simply take half an hour where you are utterly letting go and saying, goodbye world, which is really the sort of punchline of that. I'm on my little South Sea island now, and nothing is going to touch me. Yes,
yeah.
Shania.
I think the important thing to say here is nothing is too small. I have done it where it has been 5 minutes of closing my blinds, closing my door, switching off my computers, and just lying on the floor. And it creates a different atmosphere in my being. Nothing is too small. So our invitation to you now, or once you've dreamt into your kind of ideal fantasy, to really, as Alexandra said, recognize what the qualities are that you're seeking, what it is you're deeply thirsting for, and just and ask yourself what 1% of that might be. What would be realistic in your work life, in your home life, in your environment? What 1% could you bring in? And here's the challenging bit, and here's the bit that really counts, is to do it. The next time you are bleeding, the next time you're in menstruation, is to give yourself that 1%. Really give it to yourself, and give it to yourself utterly and completely. And
if it's only 5 minutes, as Shani described. And I think, Shani, we should just give a little word of warning here about the dangers of doing
that. Yes, beware.
Beware.
Beware, world.
Because 1%, you do your 1%, and we have to say that 1% begets 2%. Because the moment you taste that 1%, you're going to want more. And the next time it'll be 2. And then you taste that 2% and you go, oh my God, it has to be 4. And you know where this story is heading.
Yeah, this builds entitlement, doesn't it? And yeah, it's beautiful. So that's our answer to this ever ongoing question for us women, is how to really live our cycle in a world that doesn't yet fully value it. And we wish you well with that, and we look forward to hearing what your 1% are and how they go, and what the knock-on effect is.
Yes.
If you've enjoyed this, please share this with other women you know, and we look forward to connecting with you more. Thank you.